In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an image ad. So we're just going to go into our prospecting campaign, the one we already made. So there's a couple different things you can do here. You can simply select one of these ad sets and hit duplicate, or if you prefer, you can just hit create and it'll create a new ad set. So we're just going to name this image ad. We're just going to say image ad version 1. You don't have to name this exactly. I'm just naming this to keep us organized. Remember, this always needs to be set to website when you're running ads for ecom stores, because we're sending people to the website and that is where the conversion takes place. The conversion we're optimizing for is purchases, and that happens on the website. So you always want to select website, maximum number of conversions, make sure you have the right pixel selected again. Select purchase. Dynamic creative we are keeping off. Same thing, you can leave it at $20 a day, it really doesn't make a difference. My default is usually $30 in most accounts of starting them at that place, but there's no right or wrong way to that. Okay, and we're going to set the start date for tomorrow at midnight. And if you want to start right now, just leave the date as is, and it will, as soon as the ad is approved, it will start spending. But it can take 30 minutes to 3 or 4 hours to get approved. So you want to make sure that you're not, halfway through the day and then it gets approved at 6, 7 o'clock at night and then just spends your budget really fast in the evening and doesn't get any results. So we'd like to give it a fresh start, unless it's really early in the morning, maybe 6 o'clock or so. We typically will launch them for the next day. We're going to leave all this as is. We're going to leave this broad. We're not going to make any changes to the audience. If you don't see next, because Publish will publish this entire thing. It's not bad, but we want to make changes to the ad. So we're just going to go up to the top left and click on the ad. And then if you ever can't see an ad while you're building it out, just make sure this ad preview is enabled. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down to where it shows the ad creative right here. Add media. So we're going to add an image. We're going to select just one of these ads. Doesn't matter which one. If you ever need to see them larger, you can always hit this little eye icon or hover over it and it'll show you the bigger version of the image. Hit next. We typically leave these as original. You can upload images that are the right dimensions for each of these placements. You can upload a square image, a 9:16, so a vertical image, and then also a 1.91 by 1 over here. This is just one placement, or 2 placements, right column and search results. However, we find just about equal results, sometimes better results, by just using square ads. Whether it's an image or whether it's a video, we typically just stick with square 99% of the time. And we find that it performs just as well, if not better, than changing every single format. And then with that in mind, we keep this set to original so that it doesn't crop. This is the cropping section, so that it doesn't crop the image super weird. So if you select this, you have no idea what's really happening. Same thing here, it's kind of confusing. So we just stick with original and it still shows in these placements. It just keeps it in its original square format. So we're gonna hit next. This, we do not want it to generate we do not want it to generate images. So we're gonna hit the skip and continue. This is actually a new feature. This wasn't here, this wasn't showing up in our accounts yesterday. So this is how quickly these ad platforms change, is literally you can log in and the next day, there's a new AI feature or a new optimization feature. So we read through them, but the majority of the times we don't end up using a lot of them. So we don't want it to create an AI version of our product. We want to just use our actual product image. So we're going to hit skip and continue. We're going to leave all this on, done. And then for the primary text, we're just going to go in and we're just going to take one of these other ad copies as an example. So we're going to take the primary text, the longer version, it really doesn't matter which one, and move it over to our image ad. So we're going to add that into our primary text. And we're going to take one of those headlines and do the same. So we're going to scroll down to the destination. revbands.com, and then it will show you your ad. So remember, we're going to change the call to action to, it can either be shop now or order now, because that's what we want them to do. If we scroll up, when you see these options, we do not use any of the AI versions in here. We prefer to use, you can try these. We have tested them and they can work well. We just prefer to create our own copy in ChatGPT or manually write it ourselves. But what this does is it essentially, you'll see the different ad variations. It will literally pull this into your ad and essentially is writing the ad for you. So, and you can see they're not bad, but we just prefer the copy that we write, or that we prompt ChatGPT to write better. And that's it. And you actually can add multiple headlines if you wanted in here, and multiple body copy. The main difference is you cannot add multiple images. So on an image ad, you can only add one image at a time. Yeah, and you want to make sure that there's nothing additional, like this is always set to none. You don't want to have like a call button on there or a WhatsApp button, instant experience, anything like that. You want this set to none. You can see the right pixel is attached to it, or is connected to that, to this ad. So, yeah, so if you wanted to run multiple images as an image ad, you would simply want to name this. So you would say, let's just say, you can either name the images by number, or you could just say white or pearl band image, pearl band image. And then you could just say, this is purchase ready text. Just so you have an idea of what this is. So this would be pearl band with purchase ready text. And if you want to do test this ad copy or text, you can call it either way. With other images, you would simply duplicate this. You can hit quick duplicate. And then we could come down here. We're just going to delete it and then add image again. And now we're going to add on, let's do this one, this black metal band. And we're going to keep them as original. We're going to skip this. This is trying to create an AI version for us. We don't want that. Skip and continue. We're going to leave these on. And then we would rename this. And remember, you can name it to the left, double click on this section, or you can name it up here. Let's just name this, what is it? Black metal, you can say band or image, black metal band image, and then it's still with purchase ready text. And I always like to delete this copy right here. Whenever you duplicate an ad or an ad set or a campaign, it always adds the word copy. But you can see here, this has the biggest difference between a dynamic creative ad and something like an image ad or a video ad is you have 100% control of what you're showing to viewers. And so there's a couple benefits. You have 100% control, so you know exactly how it's going to show up. So if you're working with a brand where it's extremely important that they want to know exactly how every single ad is going to show to viewers, this gives you more control because you're saying use this one text, one headline, one body copy. One image, one text, one headline, and that's it. You know exactly how it's going to show up. The other benefit is when you're using a single image or single video ad, or even carousel ads, it can build up social proof much easier. Meaning, when people comment on the ad, everyone is commenting on one ad. So that you get a lot more comments of people, whether they're good or bad, you get a lot more social proof of people commenting and liking and engaging with the ad than if you're running dynamic creative. Because remember, one ad in dynamic creative, depending how many images and videos and versions of text that you put in there, it can be 15, 20, 30, 40 ads all in one ad because there's so many different combinations that Facebook can do. So you may see one or two comments on an ad, where if you're trying to build up 1 or 200 comments on an ad, it would be much easier with a single image ad or a single video ad or even a carousel ad. The downside to them is people are seeing the same image repeatedly. So these ads typically will burn out much faster than a dynamic creative ad. So for us, we typically use dynamic creative the majority of the time because they run for months, sometimes years for us, where single image ads a lot of times will run 2 or 3 weeks sometimes more, sometimes a lot less, depending how much we're spending in accounts, and they will burn out, and then we'll have to continually just keep relaunching new ads every single week, which is a lot of work, and it creates a lot of volatility for clients or for the accounts running ads for, of, oh, everything's great, and then it falls off a cliff. And you literally just keep repeating that cycle, and you have to keep putting new creative into the account to keep it alive. Where with dynamic creative, when you get the combination right of the right images, right videos, right text, they'll run, like I said, for months, sometimes years at a time. So, and it creates a lot more consistency in the account and stability. So, pros and cons of both. It's good to know all of these, but those are the reasons we typically use dynamic creative the majority of the time, but also there's the benefits of social proof on single image ads, and also you know what to expect of exactly how the ad is going to look. But yeah, we're going to hit publish here. So we just created 2 ads, but you get the idea. You can continue to create, you can create 100 ads in this one ad set if you wanted to. We typically don't like to create more than 3 to 5 ads per ad set. We typically do 1 to 2 and see the best performance with 1 to 2 ads per ad set. I will say too, if you are using single image ads, what typically works best for us is we will take the same ad and we will duplicate it twice. So we'll, like this one, we don't use a lot of image ads, but if we were using image ads instead of dynamic creative, we would call this ad set, in most scenarios, we would call this Pearl Band image, purchase ready text, and we would duplicate just one ad in there 2 times. The reason being is Facebook doesn't treat every ad completely equal. And so it gives that ad a better chance of finding a pocket of profitable audience that will purchase. So I'll show you how that would look. So this is how it would look if you were just having a bunch of image ads in one ad set. If you do that approach, it does work, but I don't suggest having any more than 3 to 5 image ads in there. So we're going to go back. And what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this image ads. We're going to hit duplicate here. And we're just going to call this, we're going to use this Pearl Band image. So we're going to call the ad set the same thing. We're going to say, we're going to call it image ad, just so we know what type of ad it is. We're going to say that it's the Pearl Band. And then it's the purchase ready text. And then inside of it, so if we look, so here's the ad set. We can expand this as well so we can read it. So it's image ad. That's the type of ad. It's Pearl Band is the main creative in it. And then it's purchase ready text. So all we're going to do, we're going to actually delete this second one. We're going to hit the trash can while it's selected. Delete. And then this Pearl, you can preview it by hitting this edit button as well. So this ad right here, you can either hit the 3 drop downs here and hit quick duplicate, or you can select it and then hit duplicate here. Like I mentioned before, I always get rid of this copy text just because it bothers me. You can hit the pencil icon and update the name. But yeah, so from there, you would just hit the preview button in the top right-hand corner. You may not be able to see it in my screen, but there is a blue review and publish button in the top right-hand corner of your screen that you want to click whenever you need to publish everything in the account that's a draft. And there you go. You can see these are processing now. Now those are 2 different ways that you can structure single image ads. Again, just to recap, now you can have a single ad set with 3 to 5 ads inside of it. You can add as many ads as you want, but we typically don't see them perform well with more than 3 to 5 different ads inside of it. So you can see here we have 2, but you would add 3 to 5 if you wanted to do this approach. The other approach that we typically do is we will use 1 ad set per ad, but we will duplicate the ad 2 times within that ad set to give it the best chance of performing. It's the same exact ad, just duplicated twice, and we name the ad set what the ad is. So you say here, image ad, it's the Pearl Band is the image, and then the text is purchase ready text. And you could even say purchase ready text, version 1, V1. And it's the same ad 2 times. So those are 2 different ways that you can structure them. Both work great. It's really just a preference of how your brain works and which one of those methods that you prefer. But yeah, that is it with single image ads, and I will see you in the next video.